Y'all, this is huge, okay? First of all, we are now caught up with the manga, okay? We are now current. Everything after this, we will be doing on a month-to-month basis. And so much happens in this chapter, and yet it leaves off in such an amazing moment. I am so stoked, and I don't know how I'm going to make it, because from this point forward, we're all on the same page. We're month to month. We are current on the Wistoria manga now. So we're going to be sitting on pins and needles for a month at a time. It's going to be crazy. But let's jump in. I'm not ready for it, but I am so ready for it at the same time. So when we last left off, we had Finn up there, and he's like, can he heed the call? Will answer this call? Will he be able to stand up to this power? Because remember, he's fighting Zio. Like, he's fighting one of the Magi Vander. This is a dude who only just recently found out that he actually has a real magical power, not just some, like, musclehead, right? This is, like, Will is legit. Like, we have plenty of those stories where we have the dude who's just, like, muscle-bound or whatever. Will actually is... He legitimately has a magical power that was kind of locked away, so to speak, or works very differently than what we had before. So it is a different version of the same story we've seen, and that's what I really enjoy about this. They kind of like drug us in, or Omori really, drug us in with this like story we kind of knew, but then it started changing things up, and now it's its own thing, and I love it. And he's like, there's only one possible way to best someone so unimaginably powerful, and that's the reality. Like, he's a Magi Vander. Like, Zio is the top dog. He's one of the most powerful mages that is out there. And he's like, how do I do it though? How do I call upon this power that I apparently have? I've been told I have an insane amount of power. How do I call upon it? How do I make it work? And Finn's somehow able to read his mind. He's like, you can't yet. You've not quite gotten there. You've not unlocked what you need to do. And this figure here is like, and we still haven't gotten a full answer to who that is, but we have a pretty good idea. And she's like, you will not be able to do it until you trace your origins, until you go back to the beginning, until you learn yourself, basically, is what she's saying. And he's like, so now what? How do I do this? How am I supposed to win? How am I supposed to even lay a finger on Zio? What is going on? And like, this is all basically happening in his mind. This is all essentially just his thought process and how he's coping with all of this. And out of nowhere comes Elfie. Now, I don't think this is physically her, or even necessarily like her mental visage or whatever. This just kind of seems to be a representation of what's going on in his head. And he's like, Elfie's here. And he's like, I know what it took to get here. Or she says, I know what it took to get here. And kind of dissipates. And then this book kind of appears out of nowhere. And what's really cool about this, I love this. This is like one of the best moments ever. Manga pages from the previous chapters, guys. Everything is a manga happening in his memory, and I love it. I am here for it. It's a great representation, too, because obviously we know, man, can we talk about, can we get hardbound versions that look like this? Dear Omori, give us hardbound omnibus. We need omnibuses, omnibus, omnibot, whatever the plural of omnibus is. We need this. I would like a really nice like pleather bound omnibus. That would be amazing. Can we really please get that? But nevertheless, he actually is basically reading his own manga, so to speak. And it's a great representation of how this goes. And I'm willing to bet that when they animate this, God, I really hope it's like full animated pages of the manga just happening in real time. I hope they don't translate this into, just anime screens happening all around him. Kind of like we saw prior. We did see something similar to that. I love the fact that it's the manga pages. And it's like literally just the manga pages we've seen from the past. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. This is just the greatest thing that I could think in a really long time that I've seen in manga. And I love it. It's like this great meta moment, but also a throwback at the same time. And it's just fantastic. It's been done before. I'm well aware it's not the most unique thing ever, but I enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. He's like, what am I doing? No matter how great or unfamiliar the power, I will not let myself be led astray. And he's like basically searching himself and finding the power that he needs in order to beat Zio? Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Like, how can he possibly muster this? And he's just like, awakening be damned. And then just breaks through this barrier, right? And he's like, think of the story you've woven with your friends, of all the people who've helped you get to where you are now. How you turn knowledge into wisdom, uncover the unknown. This is the greatest, like, soliloquy of all time. Okay, that might be an exception, but it's phenomenal. It's great. And he's just going on and on and on. And open your book to the right pages. And there's Liana. Remember, Liana was the one who was kind of encouraging him before. She's the one who saw his crazy awakening. Find those pages, mark them. Check this out. So that's all the little thunder there. And what does this look like to you? Well, we're going to find out here in a moment. Read your memories, bring them together. What was the big major awakening that he had, right? The one thing that got him to the tower, the one thing that brought him over the edge and basically allowed him to graduate and get to where he is now. He's like, stand with me, Elfie. You too, Julius. I must reach deep into my history. This right here is the giveaway. What do Elfie and Julius have that he needs in order to make this happen? Another day, another victory.
Problems are fun.
Prime Pathos revived. Does that look familiar at all? Glace Whis. He calls upon the ice sword without the ice magic. I mean, he has it, but it's not like directly in front of him. He literally, like, remember last time, basically Elfie more or less dropped everything that he needed off the tower, and he was able to acquire it at that point. This, on the other hand, is him just more or less like just developing it. Like, it's happening. It's just the thing, right? Like, this is literally him manifesting all this right there. It's crazy. And all of Zio's like, did he just change the affinity of his blade from thunder to ice? Yes, he did. If you go back a couple pages here, you can see the very moment it happens. Bam! See all the thunder? It's hard to see because the logo. All the thunder coming out of the book. It's really good up here. You see all the thunder coming out of the book. And you see him kind of pulling the ice sheet out. That's actually the end of the sword right there. That's actually the sword itself. Bam! Dude forms the ice sword of his own. Needed no help whatsoever. Just basically, like, I mean, you can argue that, yes, he used their magics or whatever, but the honest answer here is he did it of his own volition. Absolutely nothing else. And I love this explosion. Mega mean moment. Right? And Zio's like, he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's okay, cool. It's like the sheer speed of his Wrathbolt style might have saved him. Talking about Zio, obviously. Zio obviously was just able to like back off. Like, hold up. We ain't playing that game. And you see, Tactical Reload isn't just a simple realignment of his sword's affinity. It's far more than that. And I love Zio. Zio's great. I was super sus of this guy, and now I adore him because he wears all of his feelings right there on his shoulder. Dude's got nothing underneath. He is just everything on the surface, and that's that. And he's like, this is fun. Zio's like, I am enjoying this duel. This is not become a bloodbath. This is now a duel. It allows him to shuffle between multiple elements on a whim, even in the heat of battle. In other words, he had the electric sword, he now has the ice sword. So at some point, he's going to be able to use all of those elements completely of his own accord. And we already know that there's more than all the elements that are actually in the magia. There's the illusion magic, there's the grass magic, there's all kinds of stuff out there, and it looks like he's going to be able to just easily shuffle between them. Now, unfortunately, this is 2 pages kind of back to back, but it's a clash. It's Zio, who we know basically fights with his fists, more or less just hammering down on that sword, that ice sword. This is it, guys. So as much as We wanted him to be with Elfie. We needed him to complete that bond, to join her faction. He would never have been able to pull that off if he was in her faction, because she'd coddle him. She would never really make him awaken. Zio, on the other hand, is the only Magia that would have actually made this happen. There are a couple others that actually could have. Old dude being one of them. But without this push, without Zio actually beating the snot out of him, this dude, without his Gen X upbringing, stick the fork in the socket, son. What did you learn? Without that, scars. Without that, he would absolutely not have made it here. This is crazy. And at this point, it is a clash. It is no longer a one-sided battle. It is a true and proper clash. Will has come into his own. He's always had these awakenings. He's always had these little, I've gone Super Saiyan mode, but just out of necessity moments. But now, this is real. This is him. He's unlocking it. He is learning. Not the first time he's learned, but he is learning. And this is great. I love Zio. Just color me shocked. Now, he still kind of knocks him off to the side. But you see this hand there. You see the palm. He's damaged. He is hurt. He's like, well played. You got me. GG, son. GG. And I love it here. This is where we leave ourselves off for 3 weeks. Cauldron, you wicked witch. And that's, let's be fair. Phil's got a point. It's all happening just as you planned. But I suppose when you're taught to find the solutions to the problems on your own, this is what you get. An explosive combination of wand and sword. We are caught up. I can't wait 3 weeks for the next chapter. Yo! We're going to go back and we're going to start with chapter 1. We're going to go all the way back through this. It might take a little while to produce those videos, but I've got a pretty good idea of what it's going to take to really make these kind of shine and to really kind of go back and fix some of the problems we've had in the past with these. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I've started picking up all the volumes as they come out. I'm so excited. Oh, so good. The story is so good. Let me know what you guys thought. I'll see you guys again real soon. And we can no longer binge it, and that's unfortunate. Unless you pick this up a couple years down the road, and then you can binge my videos, and thank you. But until then, we'll be back with more Wistoria, Wand, and Sword. I can't wait.